Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it is time for my September plan with me, which is also kind of fun because it is back to school time and all of that fun stuff. So we are gonna just kind of dive right in. I'll go ahead and show you guys August. I've actually even brought out my language stuff so I can show you inside my language log, which don't get too excited, it was kind of sad. And then we'll take a look at what I'm planning to do for September and get through the time lapse, and I'll come back at the end and see how everything went. So let's start with August. We're actually gonna go ahead and start in my PROJO, just because this is kind of how I organize my general planning anyway. I sort of start in my PROJO and then work my way towards my bullet journal, so I figure that's kind of a good way to do that for this as well. So there we go. So we've got, let's see, I've been working on a couple of little things in here. So July, August. So August is trucking along kind of slowly. Well, time-wise it's going fast, productivity-wise so-so. So I am currently filming on the 20th, so I can post this for you guys at the end of the week. And as you guys can see, I was able to do some stuff while I was in the US visiting family. These weren't anything really related to my key projects over here, so that's why a lot less is checked off, just because this like week and a half, I wasn't home here to work on any of my key projects. So I have been working on some stuff since I've been back, also getting over jet lag and all that kind of fun stuff, so I'm just kind of easing back into things. So I have been working on some stuff for work. I have not been working on my font at all. I have been doing a little bit on the adulting front, but it's slow going, so a lot of this might end up getting migrated. We will see. As always, I'm not gonna actually migrate stuff now because I do still have some time left in August, and you never know what all I'll get to. This back page here, as it has been for the last couple of months this summer, is basically just a dedicated sewing page. So I've got a bunch of things over here, and one of the things that I would like to do is to at least sew something, maybe two things before the end of the month. But again, it's back to school, so my focus has really been working on getting my school stuff kind of ready to go. So we'll see how that ends up working out. I will do my monthly reflection a little bit later once I get to the end of the month, but to give you guys an idea, here was July's. So you guys can see this summer, I ended up taking it a little bit easy. I did work on work stuff and some adulting stuff, but font just has not happened. I need to get back on that, but this is kind of what a filled in monthly reflection looks like. So that is all in terms of the monthly side of things. I will quickly set up September in here so you guys can kind of see, but then that is that. So let's go back to, whoops, weeklies. So weeklies, this was kind of the end of July, the beginning of August. So because this was when I was traveling, like this was one of the weeks where I was fully in the US the entire week, I really did not fill in a whole lot here. I just had a couple of things that I wanted to get done, and these were things that I just needed to do while I was away. I also had a little language log so I could fill in anything that I did while I was in the US, which as you can see was not a whole lot. Then this was the end of my trip. So I had a couple of things over here. You'll see I got two things done and migrated the rest. So that was just kind of what my vacation spreads ended up looking like. I actually did kind of fill this in, and I actually did it the other way than what I usually do. So I filled it in on here, and then when I got back to France, I filled it in on my Google Calendar. So I do have it still in both places. I just did the order a little bit differently. Then this was my first week back home. So I was working on a couple of things. I had a fair amount that ended up getting migrated. I actually sort of decided during the week that I hadn't been doing these different projects for a while, and so I think that I just had too much that I was trying to do all at once, so I'm going to work on reducing that, and you guys will see that in my September setup as well. This is for this week, as always. My weekly is currently blank. I will be filling that in later. Let's move, there we go. So I have filled in stuff over here. I am currently working on various things to get through. I'm actually working on filming today, so I think I will get at least 3 videos filmed, possibly 4, so that'll be something to check off, so that's pretty awesome. And I also have set up for next week, so this is going to be the end of August and the beginning of September. And I actually, because the school year is starting, I've actually also already set up my weeklies, and I've penciled in what I think my schedule is going to be for September. So I know this is kind of showing you guys ahead in September, but I did actually work on that just so that I could kind of start visualizing my time once the school year started. So that is all in my PROJO for August. I have a couple of things in here that I've been working on, just a couple of little projects, but nothing really super new. So I will show you guys my September pre-plan in a minute in there. So let's take a peek in my bullet journal. So let's see, August actually, right here. So here is August. Had my little fun colors for there. So my August monthly, you guys can see I've been kind of filling in, and this one I could keep up with a little bit easier while I was on holiday, because this is just like general things that have happened, not necessarily related to projects I'm working on, so that was kind of nice. So you guys can see, still got a little bit to fill in here. I've got a couple of things that I'll need to migrate for September. I have been working on some of my intentions. Now this is one that's going to change, because I've done a little bit of Korean, definitely not 3 times a week. I haven't done any Arabic. I haven't done any Italian. I haven't done anything on my font. So I think at this point, just too many things that I was trying to work on, and I just didn't get them all done. Like, that's just kind of the way it goes. So I will be fixing this hopefully in September, but I do at least have 3, 4 things that I did actually work on, which is pretty good. That's about 50-50. Not great, but it's okay. Then we've got tracker. So you guys can see over here how that has been going. Let's move this out of the way. A lot of blank spaces, but other things that have still been getting done. So, you know, it's the end of the summer. This kind of happens. I think I'm going to be like super motivated all through the summer, and then I hit a bit of a slump and I need a break, and you know, it just is what it is. I also have my reading goal, which I actually have been reading a lot. I had a couple of books that I was finally able to finish up from the library, and then I've also been reading or listening to a bunch of audiobooks and all of that kind of stuff. So this has been a really good reading month, all things considered. Oops. Then we've got weeklies. So even while I was in the US, so I was in the US up through the 11th. And as you guys can see, I actually did still have some stuff that I was working on, some little projects that I wanted to work on while I was at my parents' house. I did also do a couple of notes to kind of talk about what we did on certain days. Other days, you know, for example, were a lot less filled with tasks, but I did still, you know, keep up with dailies while I was on my trip. And then Monday was the day that I got back, so I had a lot of stuff to catch up on last week when I was here. And then this is for this week. So as you can see, I had a couple of things that took longer than expected. So a lot of the little tasks that kind of make up the bulk of this daily I didn't actually get to. So I will be working on those kind of throughout the week. But again, this is something that, as long as it's still kind of on the same spread, I tend to not migrate things until I'm either ready to go to the next week or ready to turn the page. So this is not really a big deal. So that is what I have currently for dailies for August. And as you guys can see, this month did not have any other collections whatsoever at this point. Just, I haven't needed them because it was the summer and I was on vacation for the first like week and a half. So what I've kind of decided to do is give myself this full spread. I do have next week also in here, so I'm gonna give myself a second spread with the idea that I will probably end up using at least one of the pages, probably just the one page, as a collection. So, you know, the last push before school starts, like what do I need to get done kind of thing. I think that's kind of what I'm gonna use that for. So that is the end of August. I do wanna go ahead and show you guys, in my language log, because it's been a while. So I know I did a little update video at some point, but I don't remember how far I showed you guys. Let's see, so here's February. So you guys can see for a lot of these, it's been pretty spotty during the end of the school year. Then like once things kind of calmed down, I ended up doing a lot more. and then during the summer it kind of fell off again. So we're currently in August, and as you can see, have not done a whole heck of a lot. Yeah, I do want to work on doing some more Korean studies next month and in the beginning of October, because I will be going to Korea at the end of October, so I will want to work on that. But that is what August looks like right now. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at what I'm gonna do for September. I have chosen 4 colors, and I was like really digging deep for these because what I really wanted to do was kind of gray, because I'm already ready for fall, but I know that I'm going to do kind of a gray copper probably for October. And so I decided to go for like muted early fall colors. So I've got 158, which is this one. I've got 076, 912, and 942. So the one nice thing is that these 2 are actually ones that I always have out. So this is part of my color code, and this is one that I use a lot for my Talk to Me in Korean lessons. So I really only have 2 new markers that I have to pull out and keep in my pen bag for September, which I know like doesn't really make a big difference, but it's kind of nice. So I have these 4 colors, just like kind of muted fall kind of looks. I honestly just didn't have anything that I really like was inspired to do for September. I did look through my old bullet journals, and I have done in like previous Septembers, I've done kind of purple. I think I did purple twice. I did like a yellow and orange one. So I didn't really have like a specific color that comes to mind for me for September. So I was like, all right, we're just gonna kind of run with this. Then I also found a quote, because you guys are gonna see I'm like already ready for fall. So this quote is by Peggy Tony Horton, and it's, "Ah, September, you are the doorway to the season that awakens my soul. But I must confess that I love you only because you are a prelude to my beloved October." So I thought that was kind of fitting. Now, other than my color scheme and my quote, the rest is going to stay fairly stable. So I've noted for my log that is 30 days, just so I know, but I am reducing my intentions. So I've decided to take off flossing because it's already a habit. I have it on my tracker. I feel like I don't really need it as an intention. Journaling, I do want to keep as an intention, just because I'm not sure how well I'll be able to keep up with it once the school year starts, because I'm going to have 3 days a week where I have to be at work for 8 o'clock. And I know just from past experience that I tend to be a lot more rushed in the morning. So I want to see if this is going to be something that I can maintain. And then if not, I'm going to revisit in October and kind of rethink, how I'm going to fit journaling into my schedule. So it is an intention for right now, but kind of as I want to see how this is going to go. I do have Korean still on here because, as I mentioned, I will be going to Korea in October, so I definitely want to work on studying. So I want that to be something that's kind of forefront. I do want to keep up with the walking, and actually, you know what? I'm thinking about this now. When I go to work, I always get enough walking in. I'm honestly going to just take this off. So where's my pen? Here we go. You know what? We're gonna simplify. Like, it is the beginning of the school year. I know how things go. We are gonna simplify. So I'm actually gonna take that off. I do have font on here because I do wanna work on this. I need to make this a priority. And so it's staying in intention. And then I also want to do some sewing. I might reduce the number of things I want to sew during the month. So during the school year, maybe what I'll say is I want to sew 1 thing a month rather than 3 like I did during the summer, but I do want to keep it as something to work on because I have a lot of projects that I've cut out. I have a lot of things I want to work on, so I do want to kind of keep that momentum. I am keeping pretty much everything the same for my tracker. I'm taking off 1 thing from my skincare unit because the first and second step have actually just honestly combined. So I feel like I don't need that first step anymore. And I do still want to read 5 books, although I have actually hit my reading goal for 2019 as of like yesterday or 2 days ago. I think I've actually read 61 books already this year, and my goal was 60. So I'm keeping it just because I like to read, but I've actually already hit my goal for the year, so it's not a big deal. Like, anything I read now is just kind of icing. I also have a little bit of brainstorming for my PROJO. So I've decided on the 3 main projects, and I'm kind of renaming them. So I'm keeping my work one the same thing, and I didn't do any brainstorming there yet because I don't know what all I'm going to get to by the end of the month, so I want to kind of leave that open. But then I've changed it. For a while I've had font and adulting as the other 2 projects, and what I'm changing to now are projects and personal. So projects are some like personal projects that I want to work on. I think that Korean might go in here, and then in personal are sort of semi-adulting, semi-personal projects. So these are like creative projects, if you will, and then these are personal projects. So for example, what I have here for Korea is I need to actually plan, do some research on places I want to go, if I'm going to need to buy tickets, if I need to reserve something, whatever, I need to work on that. And then I've got some other just like admin type paperworky kind of stuff. And then if I have Korean, like studying Korean, that'll go into projects because that's more of a creative project in my mind. So I have kind of started doing a little bit of brainstorming with that, but not super in depth because as always, I'm going to kind of wait until I see what happens at the end of the month to see if and what I need to migrate. So that is in here. As I mentioned, I'm going to leave this, I'm going to leave this spread and the next one for August so that I have plenty of space to finish out the month. And then I'm going to start September over here. So I actually just put my stencil in here so I could bookmark the page. And as always, the setup itself is fairly straightforward. I did write just quote down here just so I would remember which page in case this fell out. I have done a couple little tick marks for my monthly and a couple little tick marks for my tracker. You can kind of see them over here, but otherwise everything's going to stay pretty similar. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the time lapse. Okay, so that is everything all set up. I will go ahead and give you guys a look at everything sort of in the order that I actually set it up. So first up we have in my bullet journal. I knew that this quote was going to take up a lot of space because it's rather long, so I decided right off the bat to just use the bullet tip point of the Tombow because this side it would just be way too huge and I would absolutely have run out of space. So I just picked a couple of words to sort of accent and all of that. And it's pretty simple, but I actually like the look of this. I feel like it's kind of calming, which I think I'm gonna need for the start of the school year. Here, I attempted to sort of balance my off-centered title. I should have done September all the way over to the left because I almost ran out of room over here, so I just did 2019 hugging the left there to kind of attempt to balance it out a little bit. I also did a little drop shadow under September just to kind of add a little something. Then we have my monthly log. So once again, I do have a very faint line here to separate out my weeks, and I've got October down there. And since I was doing fewer intentions this month, I decided to just sort of offset them like this. Since I decided kind of at the last second to take out walking, I only had 4, and I had already decided that for journaling, I want to see if I can do it daily, and I wanted to do so one thing for September since I will also be busy with work, but I haven't decided exactly how I want to gauge whether or not I fulfilled my intentions of studying Korean and doing font. So whether that's going to be a certain number of lessons for studying Korean or a certain number of lessons per week, at what point in the font I want to be finished. So I haven't quite decided that, so I left those 2 blank, but at some point I do want to write in a little guide just so I know how to gauge whether or not I actually succeeded at fulfilling this intention. So that is this page. Next we've got the tracker and reading. So pretty much the same. I did just take out this first one and I ended up just sort of mushing the first 2 into one. And silly me, I started by writing a 2, so I kind of attempted to fix it to make it look like a 1, but yeah, oops. The rest is basically all the same. I did have a little bit of extra space down here because I had, 1 line fewer up here, so I just sort of extended that. As always, the review will happen at the actual end of the month / the beginning of the following month. And then reading, I just have my little column over here, same as always. And as always, I haven't set up any weeklies, or rather I haven't set up any like weekly headers or dailies over here because I've still got some time, so I will just leave that blank for right now. But I must say I do kind of like these colors. They are definitely giving me fall vibes, which I am a-okay with. So next up, we've got, my PROJO. So as always, this is a very simple setup. So I just marked a little tick mark to mark where Monday is. I crossed off the 31st since there's only 30 days. And then I've got my little column for all of my YouTube videos, which I will at some point go in and pencil in what I plan to post on the Sunday. I did label my projects here, but I haven't actually filled anything out yet since I have already written down some ideas in my little setup over here. I can definitely come back and look at this, but I just kind of want to wait and see how the end of August is going to go before I sort of commit to any given task for my monthlies. And then I did show you guys, I've already set up all of my weeklies here so you guys can kind of see what my schedule is supposed to look like. I mean, I've only penciled it in because I'm not sure if they're going to change anything on me, but I wanted to at least get an idea. I've thrown in a couple of meetings that I already know about and all that kind of stuff. So I do have those set up ready to go for the start of the month. And then the last thing that I did was I went ahead and set up September in my language journal. This is something I usually just go ahead and do at the end of the month since I haven't been doing a whole lot in there, but I figured while I had it out, I might as well just go ahead and show you guys exactly how I set it up. It's Really, really simple. The reason you might notice that for a while I had my little pictures on the bottom, now they're on the top, is just to kind of even out the pages. And then once I've got them feeling a little bit more evened out, I'll go back to kind of alternating. And you can see this is still super dirty, unfortunately, but it is what it is. It's gotten a lot of use. So yeah, we'll see how much I actually fill out for the rest of August, but I do at least have September set up and ready to go. And if you guys haven't seen in a while, here's my little color code. So I've got study, write, listen, watch, read, and talk. And I've just got a little swatch of the color and then the number of the Tombow just in case I forget, or if, you know, in later years I want to use this color code again, I know exactly which ones went into it. So that is all I've got for you guys today. I hope that you guys are getting ready and thinking about September and all of that kind of fun stuff. You know, once again, the setup is basically the same as always because it's still working for me. So it'll kind of keep going until I decide I need to change something. And yeah, what do you guys think about this color code? I know it's kind of dark for September. I feel like it's still, for some people it's still fall, and for others for some people it's still summer, and for other people it's like the start of fall. And you guys can definitely see where I fall on that spectrum, but I'm curious if you guys, what colors you guys associate with September, because I was like really drawing a blank for my color code for this month. So that is all I've got for you guys today. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Hey guys, so if you've made it all the way to the end of this video and are actually watching my end screen and you're not subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would. There's a little button right there for you to do it. And if you're interested in watching some more of my videos, I have links to 2 of my older videos off to the left there, so you can check those out if you would like to, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.